Hello, pro wrestling fans. It's me, Nick Hausman, back at House of Wrestling, and I am joined at this time by WWE Holla Holla Famer, Teddy Long. Teddy, thank you so much for taking some more time to chat with me here today.
Hey, no problem, man. Thank you, Nick. You know, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, man. You've always given me a platform, you and all the people over at Wrestling Inc. And I just wanted to come on and congratulate you on your new adventure here, man. You know, nobody deserves this better than you. You're a hard worker. You always take care of guys and make sure that you get the stories out there that people need to hear. And so, man, I'm just overwhelmed with joy for you, man. Congratulations. And whatever I can do to help you make this successful, then I'm willing to do that. And let me say, you know, thanks to the people at Wrestling Inc. to, you know, just stood behind you and believed in you. And man, this is absolutely great.
Yeah, no, and I totally echo your sentiments there, Teddy. And I'm just happy that I got to open the door and into the House of Wrestling comes Teddy Long because because when people ask me all that, because like I'm doing all these interviews here recently promoting the brand, and they're like, "Who's your favorite people to talk to?" And I'm like, "Dude, Teddy Long is like fucking awesome. You should go talk to Teddy Long sometime." And everyone's like, "Dude, yeah, Teddy's great, man. Like people love you, Teddy." You know?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, man, I love the fans too, man. You know, that's what my motto has always been, to entertain the fans, give them what they want. It's not about what I want, it's what the people want. And that's the way I've always, you know, tried to do.
So what do you think about going into WrestleMania? Do you think WWE is giving the people what they want this year?
Well, I think so. I think this will be a better one than this will be one that's, you know, been better than the last couple that I've seen, you know, and I mentioned that was because of the pandemic. You know, they couldn't, you know, a lot of guys couldn't make it and a lot of things they couldn't have, you know, and, you know, it was just a big mess. But now with the pandemic is over, people are getting back out and everything. And so with WWE, in my opinion, I feel it certainly went back to the Attitude Era with the Bloodline, greatest storyline in the world, man. And so Cody Rhodes coming back, making a big presence. So I think this WrestleMania here is going to top them all.
Is this the moment? I mean, is it an inevitability in your opinion that Cody Rhodes takes the title here from Roman Reigns?
Well, I don't know. You know, if it were me, I wouldn't do it right at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of, you know, you can get a lot of leverage here. You know what I mean? I'd draw this thing out, you know, until it was really time to really go ahead and put the belt on Cody. But you know, right after WrestleMania, where you got SummerSlam coming up. You know, you could do it there. But I just, like I said, this is my opinion. I just wouldn't do it right away. I'd milk this thing for all I could get.
Yeah, so I mean that's not the opinion of many. You know, a lot of people seem to think that WrestleMania with the Usos putting their titles on the line against Kevin and Sami, that the whole bloodline's going to fall here. It's not just going to be Roman who could lose his title, the Usos as well. Do you think there's a chance the bloodline walks out of the other side of this strong on the victorious end?
Well, I don't know. My opinion in this, and I don't know whether they're going to do this or not, you know, but I think the bloodline maybe keep their titles, but I think what may cause them to keep the titles, I think there's maybe a problem with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I think that because you can see the tease with it a little bit on the last promos that they did, you know, looking like there's some jealousy there, or I should be in this position, not you. So that's the way I'm looking at it. So there may be, you know, Kevin and Sami may cause themselves to not win the titles.
Yeah. Well, and the thing I like about this Mania too is the women. They've got four matches for the women when you throw in the showcase match with Rousey. But the 6-woman tag with Damage Control taking on a returning Trish and Lita and Becky. Then you have the 2 women's title matches. It's just so nice to see the women getting so much space, I feel like, on the card this year, you know?
Well, those women certainly deserve it, man. You got Lita and Trish Stratus. You know, I had the opportunity to work with both of those girls, man, and they were fantastic, man. Great workers in the ring, great promos, and I mean, just great all around. So to bring the women back, you know, those two, and all the other women that they have there, you know, and giving them the opportunity that they're being given is outstanding. Look at the women now. You had a women's battle royal. You got women in cage matches. You got them in hardcore matches, you know, stuff that back in the day, you know, promoters wouldn't even dream of thinking women to have, you know, for women to do. And so to give women their just due, you know, I think it's absolutely great.
What was it like, Teddy, when you saw Trish and Lita and these women coming through that were trying to break through? What was the attitude in the locker room? Was it kind of an open-mindedness, or was it very kind of hard, like very anti that kind of situation?
Well, back in the day, it was kind of anti, you know what I mean, but not now, you know what I mean. I think everybody, when they, you know, saw what was going on, they knew that Trish and Lita both, they deserved that opportunity, man. They deserved the break. because they worked their butts off when they were there, did everything that they were asked to do. So I think the locker room was really happy to see them advance.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Stacy Keibler, she's going to the Hall of Fame this year. She's going to join you. How do you feel about Stacy joining you in the Hall of Fame?
Well, Stacey did a great job in WCW. I had a chance to work with her back then. So, you know what I mean? So she was always a real nice person, and nice to talk to, pleasant attitude. So congratulations to Stacy Keibler. I think she deserves it too.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, this is a fun year for Hall of Fame. I love Ray's going in, and man, I'm a big Andy Kaufman nerd. So I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool that Andy's going to get to join you in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how you feel about it.
Well, yeah, man, anybody that's going to join me, man, congratulations, man. I ain't mad at nobody. I never had a chance, the opportunity to meet Andy Kaufman, but I watched what he did, and I kind of looked at the documentary where this was his life dream to be involved in professional wrestling, and he made it. He made it happen, and you know what I mean? And to have him in the Hall of Fame, I think it's something fresh, it's brand new, and, I like it.
Well, what about Rey Mysterio? He's kind of the big, marquee induction, and he's got this match with Dominic, his son, at WrestleMania, and I've really enjoyed the storytelling that the Mysterio family has been doing here. I mean, what do you do here? I mean, I kind of feel like there's no more mountains for Rey to climb. I mean, where do you go from here as a talent when you put over your son at WrestleMania and the waning years of your career? I mean, would you stick around if you were Rey, or is this the end all be all? What do you do if you're Rey here?
Well, that's a pretty tough question there, because like I said, if it was me, and I'm not Rey, and I don't know whether Rey would want to do this, but if it were me, I would put my son over, leave him strong, let him, continue the legacy, and I would just go home and enjoy the rest of my life. He's, with his kids, his daughter and stuff, they're grown now, and to sit back and relax and enjoy the family life. Ray's been in the business a long time, probably as long as me or maybe longer. So, it comes a time in your life, like me, I could care less whether WWE calls me back or not. I'm enjoying my life, man. I'm sleeping in my own bed at night, so I get out and I make appearances and do a lot of things, to stay busy. But if like I said, if it was me, I'd go home and enjoy the rest of my life.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you, man. Like, I don't know what else you can do if you're Rey. I mean, the vibe that I always had gotten when Dominic came in is that Rey wanted him there, and the whole reason Rey came back to WWE, from what I can tell, is to legitimize Dominic, and mission accomplished. I mean, Dominic does not need Rey Mysterio anymore, right?
No. Well, after WrestleMania, if it goes down, if Rey puts him over and leaves him strong, then what does he need Rey for?
Right, exactly.
He needs to become his own man. He's on his own now, so now he has to certainly prove himself.
So do you have Dominic and Rey, after the match is over, do you have that moment where they like hug and say whatever, or do you just have Dominic kick dirt on his dad and take off? Like, what does that post-win moment look for you like at WrestleMania?
I'd kick dirt on him and take off.
Same, Teddy. Man.
Yeah, I know, because like I said, it's father and son. I understand, what's going on here. After it's over, give me that hug. Hey, the embracement. I left. This is how we're gonna be. If I was Dominic, I'd beat him right there in the middle, 1, 2, 3, then kick dirt on him and leave. So you were never a dad. This is how you should remain.
Man,
and you got a story here. I ended my father's career.
But and there's so much it's like that Raw after WrestleMania, where that crowd is so hot. The heat, I mean, because there's so few people in wrestling where it's like it's just fun to hate. There's not a likability to you. I just enjoy hating you, and Dom has that right now. It is fun to hate Dominic Mysterio,
And the other thing I would do, you just speaking about that Monday night on Raw, maybe I'd have somebody, do an interview with Rey and talk about, hey, what happened, after WrestleMania, look what your son did to you. And while Rey's giving that interview, I'd have Dominic hit that interview and crash him again, drop him again.
Fantastic. I hadn't even thought about it until we were talking, but if Cody does win at Mania or whenever, it would seem there's like a logical kind of feud with him and Dom, right? Like Dominic's like, why do you love your dad so much? Your dad was a deadbeat too, just like my dad, like, yeah. There's a lot I'd never even thought about the dynamic between, I guess I've never seen Dominic on that level. It's weird to kind of think about him in that regard.
Yeah, exactly.
What a fun thought. We're talking old school stuff. One of the matches that a lot of people haven't been real high on, but it has a real old school feel to it, is Brock Lesnar versus Omos, right? Just this big giant versus a big dude. We've heard the rumors Vince might be back in some kind of creative capacity and pushed for this match to happen. Does this feel like a Vince McMahon match to you?
Well, kinda, you know what I mean? These both are two tough, big guys, and Vince is real high on, big guys. So, possibly I think he could be involved in it. But I mean, you got Omos here and you got Brock Lesnar. And I mean, Omos is gonna have his work cut out for him. I don't care how big he is. You got a guy in there, Brock Lesnar, he's big MMA fighter and fucking great in the wrestling ring too. He's got a lot of experience, which is more than Omos has, but he has a good manager, MVP, that can certainly guide him. But I think this one here is going to be one that I wouldn't even say it would be too close to call. If Omos is not on his game, then Brock is gonna eat him up.
Well, the word on the street is that Brock may be looking to take his latest break from WWE. Not to say he wouldn't come back here later down the road, but maybe Brock's going to go away here for a little while. And that kind of opens the door to maybe Brock Lesnar putting over Omos at WrestleMania. And, again, Vince McMahon, Andre the Giant, obviously he learned from his dad, giants only come along so often. You got to protect your giants. Yeah. I do wonder, is this going to be a moment that catches a lot of people off guard and we see Omos beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? I don't know if I'm insane for thinking that, Teddy.
No, I don't. No, I don't think you're insane for thinking that. I think now the business has certainly changed. Back in the day, you wouldn't even. I could give you an answer right away. No, Omos is not going to beat Brock Lesnar. But times have changed now. You know what I mean? Things are different now. So my thing is this: we don't know whether they have plans for Omos or not. But to make it to WrestleMania, that's top of the line. You can't go no higher than that. So if they're going to go, they got plans for him after WrestleMania, if they're going to go with him as their big giant, you know what I mean? Then I see Brock Lesnar putting him over. And Brock's a nice guy. I don't think Brock would have any problem doing that. He's always, been business as far as I know. But if they've got plans for Omos, and I think, like I said, he's the biggest guy on the roster, so I don't know why not. So if you got plans for him, then I would certainly have Brock put him over.
I got the chance. I had there was like a little media meet and greet dinner they did at Royal Rumble weekend, and I got put at the table with Omos, and I got to talk to him for like 90 minutes in like this private conversation. What an interesting guy, man! And like when you're next to him, I mean, there's only so many. I'm 6 feet tall. There's only so many people that I feel could just pick me up and cradle me like a baby. Like Kevin Nash. I stand next to Nash. I'm like, that man would cradle me. Omos, man, he could one-arm cradle me. This is the biggest. I've never been around a human this large, But he's got injuries too. He's dealt with injuries in the past, so he's taking F5s and stuff. I don't know how that's gonna go.
And I kind of felt just like you did when I met him. I had a chance to see him at this last Raw too, and I met him earlier too, and he was hovering over me like a big building, like a tower or something, man. So I know exactly what you're saying, but he's a super nice guy too. So. Like I said, sometime, back in the day, you always had to earn that way to, get a title shot, or you had to pay some dues. You hadn't ready, you hadn't paid no dues. So, like I said, I think they've got away from that now. If the guy deserves it, then don't forget about these dues. If there's money there, let's go with it. Yeah. So, and I think that's the attitude that they're taking now. Ain't no worry about all these people paying all these dues. If we got a guy here that's going to draw us money and the guy that's going to, do big things for the company, then I think they're going to go with it.
You bring up how you were just back on WWE TV at Raw 30 here not long ago. How was that? What was the backstage vibe for you like there? I feel like so much is changing right now at WWE.
Well, yeah, it's a lot changed. Kind of like Hollywood there now. When I went back this time, and I remember the time that they had one seamstress. They had just two people. They had two seamstresses. They had two people for the makeup. Jesus Christ. Now there's about 7 or 8 people there that's just making up people. You know what I mean? They got makeup artists. They got guys the barbershop. If you need your hair cut or whatever, or you need your hair. I mean, it's like a movie behind a movie set in Hollywood. So things have certainly changed.
Do you think that Cena will actually do the honors for Austin Theory? And do you think that's a good idea to have John Cena lose to a guy like Austin Theory?
Well, John Cena is a guy that's involved in Hollywood too. He has another career, you know that I mean, that may blossom or bloom. So John Cena, we don't know. You know, he has to make the decision of whether he's going to continue full time in wrestling or whether he's going to wrestle a little bit and go back and be full time in Hollywood. We don't know that yet. But if he has a career that's going to, you know, push him to the top in Hollywood, then I'd certainly put Theory over and go back and do a move. Look what The Rock, look what he's done.
I guess it's just like it's such an interesting time for Cena. Like he's just coming back 1-2 matches a year. I mean, I'm guessing like Cena losing, you don't think loses anything in the eyes of the fans. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if there's any reason to protect Cena, I guess, at this point in his career.
Well, you know, Theory, let's put this young kid over, man. Let's, you know, give him some shine. You know what I mean? Let him, you know, because, like, I mean, he may be the next face of the company. Who knows? And with John Cena, by working with Cena, that certainly puts him up there. And if Cena does put him over, then, I mean, that certainly gives him a big rub, man. And like I said, now it's on him. If that does happen, he'll have to take advantage of that, and he'll have to continue, you know, keep doing good things.
Well, last match I want to ask about for Mania, and then talk about one or two other things, but the Edge Finn Balor, the Demon Finn Balor Hell in a Cell match. Now, Edge has said that this is he's going to retire, I think, sometime this summer in his hometown in Canada. He made that announcement like mid last year. So this is realistically Edge's like last WrestleMania match. It's going to be a big Hell in a Cell match with Finn Balor. Do you think since he's wrapping up, he puts over Finn? Do you think he gets another big WrestleMania moment? What do you do with Edge in this situation?
I'd put Edge over. I'd let him go out with a blazing glory because Edge is certainly a great competitor. Has done a lot for the wrestling business, man. I had a chance to work with him a lot too, man. What a nice guy. And if he does, if he is going to retire, this is going to be his last deal, then let's send Edge out in a blazing glory.
Yeah. All right. Well, one of the people I wanted to ask you about in pro wrestling is Vicky Guerrero. Now, Vicky has come out and said her contract is going to be up. I believe it's August 1st with AEW. She'll be a free agent. She said she's wanting to work with Dominic and Ray or over in WWE, possibly, considering what the storyline there is going on right now. What do you think about the way AEW like used Vicky, and what do you think about the fact that she's just kind of going to be somewhat just exiting like cleanly here and with several months notice? Like, what do you think of the way AEW used Vicky and the fact she'll be a free agent again here in a little bit?
Well, you know, it's going to be hard for me to answer that because I don't look at AEW. You know, I just every once in a while I may look at some of, you know, they told me I was too old for their company, so I don't have no, you know, I don't see any reason for me to watch them. So I don't even know what they were doing with Vicky Guerrero over in AEW. But to bring her back to WWE and involve her in the Dominique storyline, I'd bring her back and have her manage Dominique.
Wait, who at AEW told you were too old?
I won't mention no name, but this was somebody that certainly was backstage, and I mean, they're in. This person that told me that is really in. They're friends with Tony Khan and this other guy that runs the wrestling school up there. I can't think of
Marshall.
Him. Yeah, so he's friends. So like I said, that's what they were told to me. The way they told me is that said, AEW, we're not hiring no old people.
They said it like that?
That's exactly what they said
to me. That's pretty disrespectful.
Well, it's all right. Don't bother me. You know, just like I said, the person that told me that was pretty reliable. And he said to me, he said, hey, they said, we're not hiring no old people. Huh. But how can you say that when you got guys that are just as old as me working for the company right now?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, what is going on with AEW right now is certainly its own conversation. I don't know if you saw any of the latest CM Punk, John Moxley drama, but it's just like, so. Yeah. I've never, and Moxley said it in an interview he did with his wife this morning. He's just never seen so much drama in a single pro wrestling company as he's seeing right now over in AEW. And it's just, it's pretty wild.
Like I said, brother, they have, I don't even watch it, so I couldn't tell you nothing that they're doing.
Yeah. Well, Teddy, are you going to be in LA for WrestleMania weekend or no?
No, well, so far I don't think so, because if they were going to call me, they probably done called me by now. So I don't think I'm going to be there at all, man. You know, then like I said, I heard that they wasn't having no assets. All that was kind of cut out. So it's kind of expensive. You know, if you ain't really doing something there, I don't see the company spending a lot of money on you, flying you out there, paying for hotels and stuff if you're not involved. So I'm not involved with anything. And so I don't even see where they'd have me in WrestleMania doing anything. So I think I'll be at home.
Okay. Oh, fair. Well, it's unfortunate. Always nice to show up, have a bleezy with you, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, like I said, I enjoy being at home, man, and enjoying my life. I just stay in the gym, and I got my dog. You probably seen him in the shot. He's been
Yeah.
all behind me.
Mm-hmm.
So, by me, after my wife passed, so I got my dog, and so it's just me and him, and so I'm just, like I said, enjoying myself.
So you are with Sportskeeda. You're working over there. Talk a little bit about the work you're doing right now, where people can be finding you if they want more of your insight,
Well,
Teddy.
on Mosquito, I'm doing the podcast there. It's me and Mac Davis and Bill After. It's called The Time Machine. So we're doing that deal. And also Mac Davis and myself, we have our own podcast. It's called Road Trip After Hours. And you can find that on YouTube and, anywhere else. And so we're going to be doing that. And also Mac's going to be out there for WrestleMania. Sportskeeda breaking him out to kind of cover stuff. So other than that, man, that's about it. And May the 12th. I'm going to be in St. Louis for the big Wrestling Hall of Fame. There's going to be a big thing for Bruiser Brody. They're going to have something for him there, and they're going to be putting a lot of people in the Hall of Fame. Maybe Jerry Briscoe, J.J. Dillon, a lot of names are going to be there. So that's going to be a big show in St. Louis, Missouri at the Wrestling Hall of Fame, and that's going to be May 12th and 13th.